All right, we're live. Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you joining us for another episode of Data Mastery Marketing for Modern Growth. Myself, Jason Reno, here with my business partner, Alvin Reyes. And I would think is going to be a pretty exciting episode. Some of you might have heard about us talk about our addiction, our past history in addiction, the Addiction Treatment Center marketing, how we really, I guess, fine tune our ability to use and leverage the data and all the different nuances with using the data within the addiction treatment space, which I think Alvin will confirm it helped a lot, because within the addiction treatment space, there's a lot more restrictions and HIPAA and PII and a lot of things that you have to work through and deal with, where I guess we got really good in practice using the data in one of the most restricted and toughest niches, where, correct me if I'm wrong, Alvin, but it kind of almost makes everything else, I don't want to say seem easy, but just easier than, tackling another, more addiction treatment clients or something along those lines.
Sorry, say that again.
No worries. I was basically saying, with us getting really good at using the data within the addiction treatment space, it allowed us to transition into other clients with less restrictions.
Yes.
A lot easier, rather than just going at like some, e-com brand, whatever, and now having to go up to a restricted ad category like addiction. We literally tackled the hardest ad category and then have worked our way backwards from there. But specifically with our addiction treatment client, we have one in particular that we still work with and manage, 6 figures a month worth of ad spend and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty of this client is it literally, he is the perfect explanation of what we look to do here in terms of creating that omni-channel presence. Yep. So this one particular client came to us spending right about $100,000 a month on a Google PPC campaign. 100% of the ad spend budget was all based off Google PPC.
Yep.
They did zero retargeting, zero Facebook, zero anything else. And their average lead coming in was, I think, around, I want to say it was like $500 or $600 for a lead, because Google's going to charge you about 100 to 150 per click. They're hoping every 5 to 6 clicks turns into an actual lead, putting their lead cost at somewhere around that $500 mark, maybe a little bit more. And then they hope that after every 10 to 20 leads, they're getting somebody in the door for a client acquisition cost of around $7,500 to $10,000. Fast forward, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it in a second, but fast forward to now, we take the same $100,000 a month in ad spend, but we have now built this omni-channel machine, or monster, as I put in the title, where all of their cold outreach, we do still keep a little bit on Google, but Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, demand side platforms, and even 30-second non-skippable commercials on CTV platforms. We drive a ton of high intent traffic to the site from those 5 to 6 different platforms. We convert a certain amount at a high quality and a high rate, but then we also now have our pixel there where we're capturing identities, and we take that same omni-channel approach, retargeting people on every ad platform, including CTV platforms, which is, I think, huge, especially in the space like addiction treatment, where, somebody searching for addiction treatment near me, it might, they're probably not even the person that needs the help. So we're trying to educate one person who then can go educate and convince another person to go get help, or convince them that our treatment center is the best place for them. And that's where the data really shines, is the ability to retarget and not just kind of raise our hand and saying, hey, we're a really good addiction treatment center that can help people. But now that ability to retarget and show video testimonials of people leaving the facility, Google reviews, that type of stuff. Alvin, maybe you can touch a little more on kind of how in-depth and intricate that omni-channel presence goes.
Yeah, one thing, we even take it even further, where for each ad platform that we're on, we have dedicated landing pages, also dedicated tracking numbers on there. So with the use of our data, we're actually getting incoming phone calls off like Facebook, off YouTube ads, off TikTok ads, off the programmatic ads as well. So that way we have really good attribution. We could track, hey, where are these phone calls coming from? So that's a lot of things that, not a lot of agencies will do that. They'll just like have one landing page with one number, but we like to like break things out, even though, yeah, it might take a little bit longer to build things out, set things up, but it's just a one-time thing where we set it up correctly. And then now we could clearly know, like, hey, we got an incoming email notification from YouTube ads, right?
Well,
And
yeah, and I'm sorry, go on.
no, I'm good.
No, I was just going to say, and especially when you're dealing with that omni-channel presence, it's important to track it all and separate it all, because then at the end of the month, when we're doing our disposition reports and stuff, we need to know, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alvin, but sometimes we'll find like, hey, Facebook is getting more leads, but the closing ratio might only be 20%, where hey, YouTube's getting less leads, but we're closing 50 to 60% of them. Okay, so then let's go. We're all about quality over quantity. A lead doesn't pay the bills. The conversion is what pays the bills.
Right.
So now let's start figuring out what's working on YouTube, and maybe we reallocate some Facebook ad spend budget to YouTube. But unless we track and know exactly what each ad platform is, the performance of each ad platform, then we don't know how to reallocate and shift budget. So I feel like, especially like that person's like, oh, we just do one landing page. Well, it's like, if you only have one traffic source, it's not that big of a deal. But if you have 6 to 7 traffic sources, you need 6 to 7 different, income points so we can separate it and track it.
Yep. It's really good for reporting. It makes it easier. Hey, we just got a admit just recently. Like, all right, what's the phone number, or what's the name or the email? And we just look in high level for the tag. Oh, we just see a tag from TikTok, so that way we know, all right, this ad here is working. Well, let's go put more money towards this ad, because that's what got the admission.
Yeah, or even I hear Shaw's our media buyer, where it's like, hey, this ad's working, and then he'll go give that ad to our graphic designer and say, hey, go take this ad and then go do a few different variations of this ad. Right. And that's how we, obviously you have to constantly be putting new creatives and new things into these ad platforms. You can't just have one ad and go spend $100,000 a month on one particular ad. It doesn't work like that.
Yep.
Another thing too is talking about quality over quantity. I know we get feedback from we meet with these clients on a weekly basis, or at least Alvin and the team does. But I think the last numbers that we saw was we are actually filling their beds to the tune of about $5,600 per client acquisition cost, where this particular client, who's even specialized in veteran addiction treatment, an acceptable number to them would be filling a bed for between $10,000, and they'd even pay upwards of $12,000 to $13,000 in some cases. And now we're filling that bed for about $5,600 to $5,800 per client acquisition. So now not only do we have a complete omni-channel presence, we drop the cost of leads and everything else, but naturally or progressively, then the acquisition cost is now, about 45% lower than it was when we initially came on board. Because if I remember correctly, they were, at about 11,000. They were basically paying $100,000 a month to get 9 or 10 clients in the door. Now for that same $100,000 a month, we're putting, 15 to 16 clients in the door.
Yeah, even like the cost per lead, they're getting like $500, $600 per lead on search as PPC keywords. When we started doing it on Facebook, it took like a month or so to really get it dialed in with the data, and we're seeing right now $20 sub leads, and we have a retargeting campaign. We're getting like $5 leads. Finding that.
And to touch on what you just said, it took a month or so to dial it in. And if people know about running and scaling ads, most people know that it typically takes longer than a month to dial in an ad campaign to get acceptable results. But like we were just talking about on our last call, Alvin, our ability gives us our data gives us the ability to fail faster and get to those winning ads and audiences. So when another agency or company might say, hey, I need 3 months of testing to accomplish this, we can shrink it down to, say, maybe instead of 3 months to a 1 to 2 month period, or a 30 to 45 day period, cutting that testing and time period in half, where now we can identify the winners, fail faster, identify the winners, and allow our clients to scale those winners as fast as possible without dumping and wasting 3 months worth of ad spend, to test and try to find the winning audiences. We just give Facebook's and the ad platforms so much data that we give the algorithm so much high intent data to use. It allows them to basically go find those winning audiences so much faster.
Yeah, the biggest win, the owner, he was like so frustrated with spending $100,000 on search ads, and he was really looking for other solutions that are a lot more cost effective and maybe less competitive. So when we told the owners, like, hey, we were able to take 95% of your budget off Google ads and into Facebook ads, and then obviously start, distributing to other ad platforms to diversify the egg basket. Like, that was just a huge shift, a huge
Well,
win for us.
and not to mention, it's all branded now.
It's all
Like a
brand.
Google PPC ad, nobody knows who you are. You're literally
Right.
waiting for somebody to Google and find you. Now we spend $100,000 a month and we go find our clients. So it's like, hey, for this particular client who is a veteran-based addiction treatment center, we can take on our demand side platform and run display ads and 30-second non-skippable commercials directly to veterans, showing video testimonials from fellow veterans with
Yes.
logos, with branding on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another thing with the owner. It's like, hey, I don't even know how many impressions they all get once you compiling them all up. But, for your $100,000 a month on Google, you're generating, I don't know, 1,000 clicks or something. Now for that same 100,000, we're generating more than 1,000 clicks. But now we're also generating, if I had to guess, 1 to 2 million impressions on any given month, probably even more, where
Way
people
more.
I was going to say maybe even way more. That was a
Yeah.
bad guess.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say multi-millions of impressions of people seeing your ads, people seeing your branding. Mm-hmm. So if they're not ready for addiction treatment now, you have that long-term branding effect of, hey, they're going to be top of mind down the road when they are ready.
Yeah, the other thing is a sleeper is like programmatic ads. Being on a DSP network, we have a private seat on Trade Desk. So, like, I've been doing media buying for about 15 years now, and when the old school of Facebook targeting, like with demographics, if you know stuff like that, you can still do that on a DSP level, where we actually use a DSP ad platform as a top of funnel strategy or tactic to just drive cost efficient clicks, impressions, especially like right now, we're dealing with $100, $200, $50 CPMs. During election season, we're seeing $7 CPMs on the DSP level, where we're not affected by that stuff.
But you can also control the CPMs, right?
Yes,
We don't have to just be beholden to Facebook.
right.
And fingers crossed, it's like, hey, look, we don't want to pay more than $10 a CPM in this niche, and then we can actually cap it for clients. So now it allows the ad spend to be controlled and managed better.
Yeah, and not only that, just going back to the Facebook targeting the old school way, where, hey, I want homeowners that are parents that are married with income demographics over $150,000. That's all the stuff that you could layer on top of our data and do lookalikes off that, and I could get cheaper clicks, and they're all outside of social media. So pretty much we're serving banner ads all over the open internet, which to us is like, that's just like millions of tripwires all over the internet.
And the best part is that our client, the one advertising, only pays for when somebody actually trips the wire. You're not paying, only if somebody hits that site. And same thing with the retargeting. Somebody bounces off our client site today with the demand side on top of social media retargeting. We can then go set out a couple million tripwires across the internet. So outside of social media, anywhere else that past visitor hits, they're now seeing your little bumper ad, your little video, and that type of stuff.
Right. So I came from another coach, Billy Jean. He does coaching for marketers. So the one thing after I left that school of genius, the one thing I took away from that is like, sell the click. How do you sell the click? Come up with better hooks, better questions, better offers. So I just told our team, our media buying team, like, let's come up with just a bunch of FAQs, really good hard hitting questions, and then turn them into banner ads, because that's how you sell the click on display ads. And then
I mean, it's not the best converting platform. And that's what I even, where you had that one lady, she was just like, well, do DSP ads even convert? And I was like, well, yeah, they can convert, but the problem is everybody expects that initial click to convert. But now with our pixel, we now capture that person who clicks, and now we retarget them on better converting platforms. So now that DSP click gets retargeted with the Facebook ad. Well, now they're comfortable putting their information into a Facebook ad platform or something along those lines. So now they'll convert on a Facebook or a YouTube or a TikTok, but that initial click and interest came from a DSP ad.
Exactly. So what's a DSP as? Like if you've ever been to like USA Today, Los Angeles Times, Washington Post,
Yeah,
like
ESPN.com,
ESPN,
Cooking.com, any
yeah,
of those monetized sites.
any websites where you see banner ads on there, that's programmatic advertising. And behind those programmatic advertising is really better targeting than Facebook that we're actually leveraging with our data
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. What I tell clients, and we'll wrap it up here because I know we got another appointment coming up. But
Mhm.
I mean, at the end of the day, and I don't personally hunt, although I don't have anything against it. But it's like, look, let's go find your next client using a sniper rifle and shooting one shot versus taking the 50 cal and mowing down the whole forest and fingers crossed that your client's standing there,
Yeah.
because that shit's expensive. You're going to waste a lot of bullets and a lot of ammo,
Mhm.
aka ad spend to find that client when, that's the root of it is developing that omni-channel presence and then being as efficient as you can with your ad spend across as many ad platforms as possible.
Yeah, especially when you're saying this stuff like, hey, we recommend you try the DSP network. We're telling this to like CMOs and CEOs and owners. Like, I've never thought of that type of strategy, and it just makes sense to
Well,
find them
because
outside
I
of
feel
open.
I feel like people like they haven't had to think of that type of strategy
Yes.
before because Facebook was so easy. It
Yeah.
was just, I don't want to say easy, but there was such a low barrier of success within Facebook and some of these other ad platforms that anybody could just jump in and do it. But now with all the restrictions,
Yeah.
people don't just advertise on Facebook. I mean, people have options now with platforms. So not all of the attention is only on one ad platform. So you have to, be better at your craft or actually be good at your craft nowadays in order to find the people and find them in a cost-effective manner.
Not only that, too, like the past couple of years, they've been removing targeting and audiences
Well,
and
that's what I'm
interests.
saying. Facebook's just getting harder and harder. So
Yes.
you have to be better and better, a better and better marketer to find success. And I think some people just got comfortable and easier. You talk to even some like fellow agencies and they're like, oh yeah, we only do Facebook ads. We refer out YouTube ads and stuff.
Right.
And I was just like, really? Like if you're not proficient in multiple ad platforms, I think that's just a recipe for disaster. You're not gonna withstand the test of time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. Really good stuff. I appreciate everybody's time. If you're still here watching it, we really greatly appreciate you. Maybe shoot me an email. We're like 17 and a half minutes into it. And if you shoot me an email and say, Jason, I was still watching your YouTube video at 17 and a half minutes into it, I'll send you a $50 gift card. So Alvin, let's actually see who watches this far into the video. Because anybody that's still watching this video 20 minutes into it, and they email me, jason@definitiveedgemarketing.com, proving that you've watched the whole video, I'll shoot you over a $50 gift card. And let's see, maybe like 20 people are going to send us a gift card, but that just means our video got a lot of views all the way through. So anyways, we appreciate everybody's time. We'll talk to everybody soon, and y'all have a great day.
All right. Thank you.